Monmouth leading Iona 4-3 on the final day of the regular season, and there's chaos all over the league with 5 teams tied at 5-2. With more on that, we say good afternoon for the first time to the third member of our crew. We send it down to the field, and Susie Milano.
Guys, we got to revisit that 5-way tie for first place in the MAC conference. I'm going to read it off this page because I don't want to get it wrong. So Fairfield, Marist, Canisius, Niagara, and Monmouth are all sitting at 5-2, which qualify them for that #1 spot. It's just crazy that it's so late in the season. I laid awake at night last night in my bed thinking of every possible scenario I could think of to see who would get that #1 spot. And of course, I had to ask Jordan Troutman about this. Coming into this game, did this affect her team's outlook on the game at all? Did it affect her coaching at all? And she said, not really. She actually thinks it has made things simpler for them. They're able to focus more on what's in front of them. They can't control the other teams. They can't control who's winning. They can't control who's losing. All they can control is what they're doing on the field today. Guys?
Susie, I'm with you. I did the same thing last night. The league sent out an email that had all the scenarios and everything that could play out. And Tim, I got about 8 pages into that 17-page document, and I just fell asleep.
It was like the fog. The fog entered your brain. You're like, I'm out. I'm out, Jerry. That's it.
It's amazing that we got to this point in the season, and we'll check back in with Susie later on in our broadcast. And still, there's so much to be determined. And really, for the first time in a handful of seasons on the women's side, the league looks like this. Years past, Fairfield used to dominate the conference, and then Canisius for such a long time dominated as well. This may be one of the best recent seasons. I guess depends what school you root for, but one of the best seasons in recent memory, Tim, because it is indeed so wide open.
And that's been one of the themes on all of our coaches' calls. All the coaches have said every game is a battle. Every game, the overall coaching has improved. I mean, just look at the Monmouth staff. You got 3 All-Americans. You got one of the best scorers in Coach Van Dyke in Stony Brook history. I mean, so the coaching has improved, the play has improved, and maybe that's why we've got so many teams tied at 5-2.
10 seconds for Iona to shoot as we near the midway point in the first half. An errant pass from Sarah Stewart will result in another stop. Now, you mentioned it, the quality of coaching all over the league. We've seen some phenomenal individual performances in the games that we've been able to broadcast. Really, the one that stands out a couple of games ago was what Niagara's Rachel McShane was able to do. She'll be in the mix along with a couple other players. You figure Pamela Giordano in the mix as well. Monmouth's Nicole Sarasso as far as League Player of the Year. First team All-League as well. As we'll take another look at Kate Ryan, who is a combination, I guess, of slashed and trimmed.
And that's going to happen. That's obviously not intentional. You know, the feet kind of got tangled up there. And think about it, when you're running with a stick, and all of a sudden you get tripped. You're like, how am I going to brace myself? And you're just hopefully that your nose doesn't get broken by hitting it on the turf.
Yeah, I guess, and there's no practice for that, right? Because you don't want to practice tripping or falling to the ground. Monmouth junior Jenny Staines with a free position chance. Hawks leading by 1, and now 5-3 after the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland, snipes it by McCaffrey.
She was what they call on the front side of the whistle there. It was almost simultaneous. She timed it perfectly. Great first 3 steps, as we always talk about. Right there, you can see that explosiveness in another great shot, stick side low.
I think you nailed that perfectly. She seemed to get a first step as the whistle went off. You ever see that episode of Seinfeld when Jerry is racing and he anticipates the starter's gunshot and the guy thinks he was a little false start?
That's exactly it.
So Staines timed it perfectly, and Monmouth now leads 5-3.
And I can't hold back. I love the way Staines plays. I feel like she's going to take my lunch money. She's going to battle. She's going to ride. She's going to turn you back. She's going to go to the goal. I mean, just a phenomenal competitor.
Well, we threw out some names earlier of potential all-league, and Jenny Staines' name is right in the mix as well. Now, 29 goals, 21 assists on the season. 38 draw controls has really come on this season in Jordan Troutman's first year to give the Monmouth team a more diverse attack. And she's always been a player with talent, but now is really starting to realize that through some statistics.
And that, again, bears out what Coach Troutman has done with, again, she comes in because she didn't recruit all of these players. So she comes in, she has to figure out, okay, what am I, Kate Ryan, what do we do here? Jenny, what do we, how are we going to mix things up in terms of personnel? And so far, it's paying dividends.
Well, a Monmouth team that a year ago didn't have the number of wins they have now. They've improved the league record as well. And they've already done something that they haven't done since joining the league. And really, I can't tell you many teams that have. As Monmouth will get a player sent off, and Iona will now have a chance with an advantage. But earlier this year, when they defeated Fairfield and Canisius in back-to-back games, those are, again, the two big dogs on the block in the MAC, and they have been. Canisius specifically, they had won 27 straight MAC games before that loss to Monmouth. So that's what makes what this impending tournament will be probably the most intriguing the league has ever seen. Brager coming up with a huge stop on Danielle Keenan.
And you can see Brager there, the difference in goaltending. She stood her ground, nice solid base, waited, and got her top hand to the ball. So two very contrasting styles in goal, which are fine. It's that's you don't want a homogenous goalie out there and everybody's doing the same thing, because everybody has different strengths and different weaknesses.
Well, like you said, it's what makes lacrosse and really sports in general. There's no one way to do something, and when you play to a certain strength or a certain style, that's, I think, what's so interesting about sports. A basketball player has a weird shot, and they say, well, she shoots the ball weird. Yeah, but it goes in.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. I completely agree.
Oh, his release is strange. Or Jim Furyk, have you seen his golf swing? He'll never be any good. And he's a phenomenal player on the PGA. But we are getting close to the draft, so that'll be fun viewing tomorrow night.
That's right. Monmouth leading by 2. Can't stress the point enough. Iona needs to win this game. The only thing they know for sure is if they win, they get in. And their defense coming up with a big-time stop, trailing by 2. We race back the other way. Iona potentially looking for transition with Erin O'Donnell.
That was a twofer there for O'Donnell. The caused turnover, actually, I'm sorry, a threefer. Caused turnover, ground ball, automatic clear. Thank you very much.
Well, you mentioned the NFL draft coming up in a couple of hours. You're going to give O'Donnell the trifecta there. The Kentucky Derby's on May 5th. And there you go. We're giving you everything.
We've got all kinds of analogies here.
There's Giordano. 3 Hawks converge on Iona's leading scorer and a whistle. I don't love how the NFL does the draft anymore. I know that they want the first round in prime time. I missed 7 rounds in one day. But I'm probably in the minority there.
I'm sure the GMs don't.
No,
they need a breather.
Right. Ball on the ground. Corbliss almost coming away with it. Still 30 seconds for Iona to shoot. Brager coming off the line.
Nice job there, just to try, again, intercept. Didn't quite get to it, but altered the pass enough.
Here's Giordano getting to her strong hand, but right into the stick of Monmouth keeper Riley Brager.
Brager standing tall, even though she's not that tall. She knows where the opposition is going to shoot. They see her deep. She plays way back in the goal. Wider base, so they see a lot of net above her. And those last 2 shots have been to her off-stick side. She's done a phenomenal job holding her ground, very quiet, getting her top hand to the ball. After that initial barrage, both goalies making some very nice saves here.
Yeah, at one point, we had in the first 7 shots on goal, 6 goals. That pace has since slowed down a bit. You almost figure it had to. Here's Sarasa, where she is so dangerous. Trying to feed in front to LaMarca, who got a stick on it. And I want to say McCaffrey was able to save it.
I think she got her shin on it. She definitely saved it. They got a reset of the shot clock.
And on the restart, senior Alexa Smith will have an 8-meter opportunity. Good first and second step. And Smith was able to score going to the ground.
And what she did there again, as a right-hander, not much angle, so she battles for the middle of the field and then shoots it behind to put it in the back of the net. You can see she's trying to get to the top of the crease and then shoots it behind. Caffrey so close, may have gotten a piece of it, but that's going to be the ticket as she comes out to be able to control your body and shoot behind back to that back pipe.
Goal number 40 on the season for Alexa Smith. You call her a finisher, and that's indeed the role she plays for Jordan Troutman.
40 goals, 1 assist. Again, she knows what her role is. She's not much of a distributor, and that's okay. She is the team's finisher.
So the Monmouth lead is now 6-3 after Alexa Smith's 40th goal of the season. So Tim, Iona needs to win this game. You figure they don't want the help. They want to win it in, but it's the Monmouth team right now that really looks to potentially get that 1 or 2 seed.
That's what they want. They want the 1 or 2 seed. They want a home playoff game, maybe 1, maybe 2. They want to be able to dictate, where their seeding is. They've had a phenomenal 5-2 in the conference, some huge upsets, even on the road, and they want to finish business here today.
Yeah, they beat Fairfield earlier this year at home. They won at Canisius in the snow earlier this season, and so far in this game, it's been a varied attack. We focused on a few players early, but Staines and Smith coming on with 2 goals apiece.
Very nice job by them. As we suspect, they're just grinders. They're going to get their opportunities. They need to be patient on McCaffrey because she's such a dynamic goalie that can make so many unbelievable saves.
6-3 Monmouth in front of Iona at this point in the game. It's the 7th all-time meeting between these 2 new rivals, with Monmouth winning 5 of the 6 all-time. But that one Iona win, Tim, came a season ago in New Rochelle when they won by 7. So it gives the visitors today some confidence. And when we spoke to Michelle Mason, she said they're a confident group that right now is playing well. However, they find themselves down 3 with a chance to play their way into the postseason.
This will be a real test of their mettle. They started this game, shot out of a cannon, were putting shots on cage, getting goals, took the lead. Now Monmouth, again, battling back, 3-goal lead, doubling them up so far. How do they respond to this?
Well, a lot of that will start here in the draw. And that was one of your keys that we were keeping an eye on in this game. It was indeed what either team would do in the draw control circle. Monmouth comes in 80th in the country, but like you said earlier, Iona's one of that handful of teams in the bottom of the country as far as that ranking. Now they're doing, Tim, a better job today, as now the draws are even at 5-5.
That was critical for them, just to even, you don't have to win every one, but just to balance things out, balance the field a little bit in terms of number of possessions. And when you're not winning a lot of draw controls per game, that just means you've got to win more ground balls, puts a little more pressure, and fortunately they've got one of the better goalies in the league that bails them out often.
Yeah, we mentioned Shannon McCaffrey tops in the league in goals against average. Saves has upped her save percentage to over 51%. Marked improvement from a season ago. But Iona right now with its back against it, at least early, a lot of game left, but Monmouth with a 3-goal advantage. Dangerous pass towards the middle. It was deflected, and we'll see who comes away with it now. And Iona is going to come away with it, getting a hustle point and trying to cut into this Monmouth advantage.
Feed to the crease, just couldn't connect. It was there for a split second. Tried to thread the needle.
Long outlet pass, and it led to this. Monmouth is getting back defensively in transition. Still not quite a clear. And Iona and freshman Maddie Kashanik will finally clear.
Had a new shot clock on that infraction. Nice job by the official to realize that.
There's Giordano. She was right in the middle of your shot. 46 goals coming into play today. Hasn't scored yet, and you figure for Iona to get rolling, she is so important to what they do. Becker getting inside and scoring.
She did an excellent job there, on not only on the face dodge, but to extend her hands and her stick. You'll see it right here on the replay. With the dish, face dodge, finish up high.
I'm Shree Bose, and I am a medical student. I was 15, and my grandfather passed away of cancer. I wanted to start doing cancer research. I think science can be an incredible force for good. This Windows 10 PC is great. It's really cool to have these 3D visualizations. You can see the cell's membrane. Half of science is about convincing the world that what you're working on matters. I want to be making the discoveries that help people live better lives.
We really like having Aaron around, but we're concerned he takes his name a bit too literally.
Okay. He has to do golf again.
All rise.
Judge. Stanton. Sanchez. Judge. Stanton. Sanchez. Phoebe. Baseballs beware. The Yankees take on the Angels on Sunday Night Baseball.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Count
We welcome you back to West Long Branch with Monmouth leading Iona 6-4. We take a look at the MAC Players of the Week for this last week of the regular season. The Offensive Player of the Week you're seeing here this afternoon, Monmouth Jenny Staines, while the Defensive Player and Rookie of the Week is Paulina DeFada from Fairfield. The keeper did a great job protecting the cage in all 120 minutes of what was a 2-0 road week for the Stags. And Tim, we saw DeFada earlier this year. We've seen Staines all season. I know you've been impressed with her continued development in a Monmouth uniform.
And the thing that sticks out is if you look at her shots on goal, almost 87% of her shots are on goal. So the efficiency there is just phenomenal. And then she had just had a wonderful week, 6 points in one game, 7 points in another, just a wonderful effort. She really keyed a comeback, getting 3 straight goals. Just such a fun player to watch.
And those were wins over Manhattan and Siena. That comeback that Tim mentioned, 13-12 over the Saints. There's Claudia Lamarca.
Very good handle by Lamarca there on what looked to be a little bit of an errant pass.
Well, there was an errant pass that is tracked down by Monmouth's Chloe Novak. It will allow Monmouth to keep possession with 45 seconds to shoot. Moving without the ball in the middle. And Totoro had to pitch it back out.
Totoro did a nice job there just to maintain control of it. She got bumped twice.
Here's Sarasso now from the point of attack. Double teamed and has it taken away. It was Becker and Carly Pelleccia, the 2 Iona players that converged on Nicole Sarasso.
You can hear the coaching staff, move it, move it. Anytime you get double teamed, that means somebody is open. So you want to run to space and get rid of it.
Iona scored the most recent goal. It came from the player controlling Becker. They further look to cut into Monmouth's lead as we near the 7-minute mark. Still haven't mentioned Pamela Giordano yet. You have to keep, obviously, everything around Iona's leading scorer. Here she is towards cage and making it a 1-goal game.
As you said that, Eddie, I focused on her, and Kate Ryan has been playing a phenomenal game thus far. She just did a little move, change of direction, and got open, and she fired. You can see right there, quick change of direction, and just fired that one off hip. Not much you can do on Brager's part. That was just a wonderful shot on cage, perfect spot. So hard to get there. For a goalie, do you go under, do you put your top hand underneath? Do you bring your top hand over top? That's why those are some of the hardest saves to make.
Monmouth's once 3-goal lead has been cut to 6-5. On the draw, it's deflected. There's a push. And it will be an Iona possession now after the draw. Kind of a wild sequence that got us to this point. Our officials will hold the clock with 6:25 remaining.
If the stands draw controls will be even at 6. Corbliss, I don't know if maybe the officials were saying she was selling that a little bit. Maybe she didn't get pushed. Nonetheless, they call the infraction on her. Ball goes to Iona for a chance to tie it up here.
And they've scored 2 consecutive goals. After the errant pass, Giordano comes away with it. A ton of time for the Gales to shoot. She's being aggressive towards goal and tying the game at 6.
Phenomenal job there. Absorbs the cross check, continues going to the goal. Buries it low, and she draws a yellow card there. You can see right there, because it was up high, she still keeps going to the goal and finishes it up high.
So not only did Pamela Giordano tie the game at 6, but Monmouth's Kate Ryan will be out for 2 minutes. So Iona scored 3 straight, Tim, and now the Gales will have the advantage as they try and take the lead.
So that was, again, because you can cross-check, but what you saw there was the cross-check was just up high into the head area, and that's why the officials deemed that yellow card worthy.
I'd be so interested, and I want to get your thoughts on, if a scenario like this happens, you get a score and then a penalty, I wonder if they would ever, almost like a basketball rule, just award possession then to the team that is then going on attack. But I get that the advantage that happens is that they're up a player.
Right, exactly. And that's where in basketball, if you could play 5-on-4,
Right,
then you wouldn't
right.
have to call the end one. You could just, you could just continue possession there. But no, that's a good point. But I hear what you're saying. But that one, hey, you know what? You draw the foul, you're up a player, you'll
Right.
take it. You scored the goal.
Maybe give the player a free position like an and one.
Right.
So Iona with an advantage with Ryan out after the 2-minute penalty. However, it's Monmouth that comes away with the draw control. And now, with under 6 minutes to go, they'll try to kill off a penalty, but also reassume control of this game as Iona has scored 3 unanswered.
So we had talked about coming out of Iona's last time out. The mental toughness was going to See what they have, after getting out to that fast start, giving up the lead, down by 3, and they've done an excellent job battling back.
So Monmouth looking to, again, kill this penalty off. There's 50 seconds to shoot, but there's still a minute 10 on the penalty. So we'll see if that weighs into what Monmouth wants to do. As Smith was fouled. Trailing the play was Tolsman.
Good defense there. Staines tried to get underneath.
Corbliss now with 15 seconds to shoot. She's double teamed. Staines carrying defenders with her, finding Smith in the middle. And able to beat McCaffrey. Monmouth back in front, 7-6.
That was a huge goal. Not only was there only 2 seconds left on the shot clock, but there, man down. Phenomenal job there to get that shot off.
A hat trick for Alexa Smith as she now has 41 goals this season.
Awesome. She went to her offhand. She's a natural righty, but knowing that the shot clock was running down, there was no way she could get it back behind her. So she put the stick in her left hand and got the shot on goal and was able to beat McCaffrey.
Monmouth stops the 3-goal Iona scoring streak with the 3rd goal of the day for the senior. Final 4 minutes, 24 seconds of this first half. This is the first game, at least to this point, that has started the final day of the regular season in the league. 3 games coming up this afternoon.
I can't believe the regular season's over, Eddie. What are we going to do?
Well, thankfully, and hopefully we'll be involved in some postseason. I know we will on the men's side.
Yes.
On the semifinal Thursday here at Kessler Stadium, and I guess we have to wait and see what happens with the women's tournament. But I'm with you. It's amazing how fast the school years are flying by.
That's because you and I are not in school anymore.
I know. That's why it goes really quick.
We have no
really
papers to write. We've got no final exams. No thesis to work on.
Amen to that. Right, all the student athletes are like, we're happy.
Eddie, did you know I was a double major in college?
I did not know that.
My minor was lacrosse. Yes.
Nicely done. Coming out of the pile with it on the ground ball, Monmouth senior Amanda Miller. Miller trying to bring everyone forward. She'll find Jenny Staines towards the middle of the field. And Monmouth will maintain possession with under 4 minutes to go.
Nice job to run out of traffic there. I think that was Turturro who got that right in the middle of the field and said, "Woo, I gotta get out of here."
Iona did a nice job in transition defense with Miller racing downfield. So Rosso finding the cutter in Smith, her 4th goal of the first half.
There might be a magnet in her stick. Now, they do stick checks. Yes, they do. They do stick checks beginning of the game and then after every goal. But it's phenomenal the way she can watch as she snags this one right out of the air. Thank you very much. And real quick, I'm going to shoot it to the offside. Wonderful. Getting shots on goal.
Well, I think we've definitely, at least to my surprise, seen more scoring in this first half than I think, Tim, I was expecting into the second half. Iona allows 8.8 goals per game. They've given up that number to Monmouth, and we're still 3 minutes and 15 seconds from halftime.
And that's just a credit to Monmouth and their offensive prowess and how well they've worked together. And that's why those early season games are so important against really tough competition.
So after Iona, and this has definitely been a game of runs, scored 3 straight to tie the game. Brager able to get a stick on it after the quick draw offense. Monmouth went up 6-3. Iona tied it up, and now it's 2 straight to Monmouth with now under 3 to go in the first half.
It was a nice save by Brager. Got her foot or the stick on it. Just a nice job.
Giordano with the left hand, misses wide.
So now Corbliss is shifted over, covering Giordano.
Beautiful execution by Iona. They cut that Monmouth lead in half again to 8-7. Second goal.
Very nice job again, just getting to a spot and just finishing this high to low. You can see right here, even with a defender right in her hands, just being able to get that off, changing planes. I've been just so impressed with both offenses for how efficient. They just putting the ball on cage, making these goalies make saves or give up goals.
Yeah, we've seen 15 first half goals on 21 shots. So Hager's second goal, and it makes it 8-7. Allison Turturro will come away with the draw.
Sophomores really come on this year. Such a presence on the offensive end. You can see that draw control and ground ball.
Final 2 minutes, first half, and definitely a higher scoring game than I think we expected. Here is Claudia Lamarca towards the middle. And a few different players slide right towards her.
Very patient there. She waiting for a better shot. Deflection there.
And Monmouth was trying to find Alexa Smith, but this time, Tim, too crowded in the middle of that passing lane. Lamarca trailing the play, got a stick on it, and Corbliss comes away with it.
Corbliss looked like a running back there, had to do a little jump step to get by the defender, all while maintaining possession of the ball. It's hard to do.
Well, you can turn the shot clock off now with 1 minute remaining. See how much of this, the rest of the first half clock, Monmouth chooses to run, leading by 1. Coming up at the half, Tim and I will take a look at the first half stats and highlights. We also have a feature for you, so keep it locked right here throughout our halftime.
Monmouth's just going to work the ball around. They're probably going to attack or at least start their play around 25 seconds or so. And it
really will paint the picture to see, do we go to halftime a 2-goal game or just 1, knowing that it's a really important 30 final minutes. Iona, again, needs to win to guarantee it will be a tournament team, while Monmouth can only improve its eventual seed if they're able to win. Whistle against Iona's Gabriella Di Demizio. Corbliss inside of 10 seconds. Throwing a series of dodges at Iona, and the Gales just kept defending it. They ran an extra defender at her. She just has 2.9 seconds to shoot now.
Great defensive stand thus far by Iona. They have been just swarming the ball.
Turturro goes to the deck with 0.3 seconds left in the first half.
So with the free position here, instead of running it in, what Turturro should do is just literally let it go, because if the ball is out of your stick before the horn sounds and it goes in, that is a good goal.
0.3 of a second left. Allison Turturro with a free position from straight away.
Should take a little crow hop here and just let it go. Looks like she's going to go low to high.
Exactly what she does, and she scores.
She got rid of it. That was. I don't think if it was .2, I don't know if you would have been able to get the ball. I mean, that was just phenomenal. She just let it go.
And she beats McCaffrey Monmouth with a 9-7 lead at the half.